Let's have a look at a few of the tricks that can help you when you're doing decimal short division and you've got something really tricky. Now here, in this example, we're dividing by 32. Now, I don't know my 32 times tables off the top of my head, so I'd prefer to divide by something that's a nice simple number between 1 and 10. So, an easy way to change this question is to say, all right, instead of dividing by 32, what if I divided by, say, 8, and then I divided again by 4? Now, to realise why this works, imagine that you're making 32 piles of something, dealing cards, say. If you make 8 piles and then you pick up each of those piles and make 4 piles with each, you'll end up with those 32 piles. So you can choose any two factors of this number and divide by one of them and then the other. You could, for argument's sake, divide by 16 and then divide by 2. So this helps you because each of these are quite easy to do, and it just becomes then a two-step process. So at this point, I would do one of these and say, all right, let's do 8.326 and divide it by 8. So along we come, we keep our decimals lined up. 3 divided by 8 doesn't go, but 32 divided by 8 gives me 4. Now we've got a trick here. 6 divided by 8 doesn't go, gives me 0, but I haven't used this 6 yet. Now remember, 8.326 is still 8.326, even if we add some placeholder zeros on the end here. So you can add a few of these, basically just to hold your leftovers, because 6 divided by 8 didn't go, but 60 divided by 8 does go 7 times, with a 4 as a remainder. Now you can keep putting as many zeros as you need to hold your leftovers, but 40 divided by 8 is going to go perfectly and give me 5, so I know there that I'm finished, so I don't need any more zeros. So I've come up with this answer. So what I have then is 1.04075, and I need to now divide that by 4. So again, I can do one of these. Now you could do these divisions over on the side if you like to keep things set out nicely. I'm putting it here just so that you can see it on the video. Now I need to put 1.04075 in here and divide it by 4. So away I go, keep the decimals lined up. We've got 2, remainder 2, 6, 0 won't go, 7, I get 1, remainder 3. Now 35 divided by 4 gives me 8, remainder 3. I can put a 0 here to hold my leftovers. Now I can do 30 divided by 4 and get 7 with 2 leftovers, and now I know I'm finished because 20 divided by 4 will give me an exact number. So my final answer is 0.2601875, which looks like a really pretty complicated answer to a difficult question, and yet all we really needed to know to do it was our times tables, where we're always dividing by a nice simple number between 1 and 10. Another trick you can use is to make the number that you're dividing by either bigger or smaller by a factor of 10. Now you can do this by just moving the decimal point one way or the other. The easiest way to see why this works is to rewrite the question so that you have it as a fraction. Because you're already familiar with the fact that if we multiply the top and the bottom of a fraction by the same thing, then the fraction stays the same value, but it'll just look different. So here I'm thinking I don't like dividing by 0.8, but I'm quite good at dividing by 8. So I can make this into an 8 by multiplying by 10. But to keep it fair, I need to multiply the top by 10 as well. All right, on the next line, see what you have here. This moves the decimal point along 1 and gives me 239 divided by 8. Now I can go away over on the side here and do my 239 divided by 8. If I need to, I can put placeholder zeros here to get the answer nice and tidy. And at the end, whatever I get will be the answer to this question. The fact that you've multiplied by 10 here doesn't mean you need to divide by 10 or anything at the end. You've already made up for that, because this question here will have the exact same answer, if you like, or value, as this question. You've just made the question a little bit easier to calculate. Now, similarly with this question, if I write it like this, it's much easier to see what can be done. Now, I could divide by 6 and then divide by 100, but I could also just say, I want to turn this into 6 so that it's much more straightforward. Now, how do I do that? I need to divide the bottom by 100, so I need to divide the top by 100. And this is nice and easy. We just move the decimal point twice to the left. So moving the top, it becomes 0.129, And obviously 600 divided by 100 is 6. And this question is now much easier to do because I've got a nice simple number here that's between 1 and 10, and I know my 6 times tables. I know my 8 times tables much better than I know my 600 or my 0.8 times tables. So you've just changed the question into one that's easier, and the answer will be the same as the answer to the original question.